Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, November the 25th, 325th day of the year. We are 2 days away from Thanksgiving, and there are only 40 days left in 2023. And welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Thom. Last week I said it seems the forgotten ones are no longer forgotten, and that's a good thing. And after this past weekend, they may never be forgotten again, or at least they will never forget how their alma mater treated them, their families, children, and grandchildren. The second James Owens Foundation Forgotten Ones event was held at Auburn University's President's Home on Auburn's campus. What started out last year as a small event in a hidden room in the university's ancient Coliseum with maybe 40 attendants blossomed into an event held at the President's Home with close to 200 attendees. The Forgotten Ones started out as a way to honor those Black athletes that had either integrated or played a critical athletic role in the integration of Auburn. Initially, it was to honor the first two Black athletes, Henry Harris and James Owens, but it has grown to include all the early pioneers of the 1970s. The athletes represented football, basketball, baseball, track, and women's basketball. Old yesteryear memories were resurfaced in fun conversations, but the event was mostly for the athletes to see each other, some after many, many years. The Forgotten Ones is an inclusive group. Not every former athlete who attended was a star. Some in their day did not make the cut or even their respective team, but they did not fear the unknown and supported those who did in search of history. And yes, the former athletes were all Black, but there were many whites in attendance. After all, the prize of integration was not supported and or won only by Black people. Many of Auburn's outstanding supporters were in attendance, included all the head coaches of football, basketball, track, and baseball. Auburn President Chris Roberts and First Lady Tracy proudly hosted the event in first-class fashion. It was awesome. There was no show of fake support. It was genuine, heartfelt, and meaningful. I don't know if I've ever been more proud of my alma mater. Okay, our G-List guest today is Eric Jones and the 25 Days of Christmas. We look forward to that. Eric's been with us, I think this is the third year now. Our show today is, of course, sponsored by the Best Girl Consulting Firm. Let's hear from Best Girl.
Best Girl is a consulting firm that provides customized leadership, access and inclusion, public relations, communications, and organizational consulting services. Clients include Fortune 500 companies, utilities, higher education institutions, small businesses, and associations. Best Girl's team of consultants, led by Joyce Gilly-Gossam, Emily Hedrick, and Sean Jones, partners with business and education clients to promote organizational effectiveness, communication, motivation, and leadership, with always an impact on the bottom line. Best Girl's customized consulting services include strategic planning, corporate communication, executive coaching, fundraising, and economic development.
Best Girl customizes the solution that fits your needs. So let's go right away to our roundtable regulars, Barbara Wallace Edwards and Michael Walker. Good morning, Barbara Wallace Edwards and Michael Walker. Barbara, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Thom. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? And how are you, Michael?
All right. Well, you and Michael were there this weekend for the Forgotten Ones. Barbara, you go ahead and talk about the Forgotten Ones here, and then we'll go to Michael and what the reaction was on you and how you felt about it.
Thank you, Thom. I echo your sentiments totally. It was a wonderful event. So proud of our Auburn University and thankful to our president, Dr. Chris Roberts, and his beautiful wife, First Lady Tracy Roberts, for opening their home and inviting us all in and celebrating the event. To have the head coaches there from all of these events. I mean, because Bruce Pearl had a game in New York on Friday night and flew back in just to be there for that event on Saturday morning. And Coach Freeze, of course, had a big game that afternoon and came over. And also
And he wished he had missed.
They say absolutely. We all may wish we had missed that game. But to have those head coaches there from the equestrian team, soccer and basketball and baseball, all there to honor the trailblazers of the 70s. And I think it really meant a lot to those former athletes, as well as to all of us Auburn alums that were there. I can't thank them enough for what they did for the James Owen Foundation and for all the trailblazers.
There were people there I haven't seen. Last year I saw them for the first time, but this year there were new people there, like
Yes.
Miles Patrick and Freddie Smith and so on and so forth. Guys I hadn't seen since the 70s.
Yes.
And so it was just absolutely wonderful. And to have all the coaches there represented, the athletic director,
Yes.
provost,
Board of trustee members were there.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful event.
It really was. And we thank President and Miss Tracy for what they've done and what they will continue to do.
Absolutely.
So, Michael, your response.
Well, I have to, first of all, say a great heartfelt thank you to President Chris Roberts and his wife, Tracy, for all of the accommodation and the hospitality that they showed, not only the athletes, but the Auburn alumni in general. That right there, that event added meaning to the word War Eagle.
Yes.
Family. I will say that right there actually made everybody feel a part of the Auburn family. And so I certainly thank them for all that they did for it. And as you both said, getting the opportunity to visit with people that you haven't seen since the 70s, you knew them. And sometimes it took a minute for the familiarity to come back because you hadn't seen anybody in such
you had
long.
to see that name tag. It's like, let me see who that is.
Right.
Yeah, but it was great to see everybody having conversation, being able to go back in time and celebrate the history of Auburn, and the integration had a lot of meaning. And I think it did a lot for the younger generation of people there, in particularly the children of the alumni that had attended there in Auburn. And as you guys know, back in the 70s when we were there, the population of minority students at Auburn was very, very minuscule, as they say. I recall my sophomore year at Auburn, I think we had about 20,000 students total and about 575 Black people.
And 300 of them we didn't see on campus, so we don't know where they were.
You're right about that. There are a few. They said it was about 500, but you're right. We didn't see, but maybe
we didn't see that many. Right.
Well, you should explain that, because at the end they were commuter students, so after about 2:00 in the afternoon, they were gone.
Absolutely. Right.
When I was there before you guys, we had maybe 100 Black students, but the university always said it was 200. I said, well, where y'all hide those other 100? Because I can see them, and I'm here every day.
Absolutely, I know.
I asked President Philpott that one time. He had to laugh. But Michael, I agree with you. I think it gives a lot more credibility to the word family.
Yes.
You can't claim family when you don't make people feel like it's family.
Right.
People felt like it was family.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to add, our friend Byron Franklin did a wonderful job as our speaker for the event, and I want to thank him for the tribute he gave to you, Thom. So fitting. You are the dean of the Black athletes at Auburn University, because I think you're probably the oldest living athlete that's still there around. So thank you for what you've done.
And I'm only 45.
I know, exactly. So that's saying a lot.
Yeah, somebody told me I was the dean.
Yes.
I never thought of it that way, but and I wrote a piece and posted it yesterday on James and Henry.
I saw that. Yes.
And because being there with them, and I was very fortunate. I had a great secondary education, and when you don't have that and you go into that type of environment, it's pretty tough.
Yes.
And so I was able to negotiate my time there.
Right.
And I just felt bad for James and Henry, and just that, when you say well, the theme was we're going to treat everybody the same. Well, we weren't all the same.
Not the same. Exactly.
And that's why now you have people talk about equity and inclusion and so on and so forth, because treating everybody the same isn't necessarily the answer.
Right. That's not always a fair thing to do.
Go ahead.
Right. I said that's not always the fair thing to do, to try to treat everyone equal, because we're not the same. Right.
Yeah. That's funny that you bring that up. And I met a guy a couple years ago that played football at Georgia, and we were talking, and he was telling a story about one of the coaches there. And it was funny where, a lot of you remember back in the 70s and what have you, Billy White Shoes Johnson, and a lot of the players would wear white cleats and stuff with the football uniform and stuff like that. And, at Georgia, they're known for wanting to wear those black shoes and everything. And so there were probably maybe 3 or 4 African-American athletes on the team. And the coach at the time said, well, we're going to put it up for a vote to see who wants, and the majority will win, who wants to wear white cleats and who wants to wear black cleats. Well, of course, majority won because they were majority.
Right.
They were black cleats. And so the coach said, well, we put it up for a vote and it's black cleats. Well, you only had 3 or 4 black athletes on the team.
Exactly.
That was, the numbers are a little bit skewed,
A little lopsided there. Yeah.
I tell you, we used to tape our, when you got your ankles taped, then you would tape your shoes,
right?
So that they were half white, that tape on them. You put that tape around them. Why you got all that tape on your shoes? I like it like that. And there's one thing when you talk about White Shoes Johnson. I remember him. He was with the Houston what were they? Houston Oilers.
Yes.
And it was just his individuality.
Right.
Yes.
And there was, this thing about individuality that made you bad if you wanted to stand out a little bit in a different way. And when James first got, as the first African-American football player, when he first got to Auburn, when he was at Fairfield High School, his coaches bought him a pair of white shoes to wear on the football field. He wore white shoes when he played in high school. So he brought those white shoes to Auburn with him. And he ran out on the field that first day, and Coach Jordan signaled him over and said, son, we don't wear those down here. And so he had to go and take them off because everybody had to be the same. And, I just don't know that was the best way. And I tell you what I was really proud of, and you guys, I think, Barbara, you were sitting at our table. Virgil was at our table, Virgil Pearson.
Yes.
Virgil was the second black football player at Auburn. And he went to Fairfield with James. He was a year or 2 behind James.
Right.
And Virgil and I entered the university at the same time. And after the year of walking on and I was awarded a scholarship, Virgil and I became roommates and good friends. And Virgil left because one of the coaches called him a black SOB out on the field.
Wow.
And they were really hard on Virgil because they had predicted stardom for Virgil. And, I was talking to Michael about the game last night, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
And the Chiefs had a chance to win, and they had the guy miss the ball at the goal line and hit him dead in his hands, and he didn't catch it. And then the other one, they 4th down, it went right through his hands and he didn't catch it. But after the game, Patrick Mahomes, when they asked him about it, he said, well, I could have made a better throw. It's on me. I threw it a little too far. I made him stretch for it. So that was my fault. Well, it wasn't his fault.
Right.
But
he took the blame.
He's the leader.
Right.
And so he didn't want to destroy those two young men's confidence, because I think they're like first or second year players. And so he wanted to keep their confidence up. He wanted to keep them. And to me, that's leadership.
Yes.
Not telling them what they can't do. Well, he can't pass, so we got a package for him.
Mm-hmm.
What is he? I won't even say that. So anyway, you guys go ahead.
Well, speaking of leadership, or lack thereof, I didn't see much of it on the field on Saturday when I got a chance to watch the team play. Unfortunately, I saw a team that was ill prepared. I saw players that were out physical at the point of attack. And I saw players that probably started to believe their headlines and thinking that they had arrived and they were ready to go. And a team that overlooked New Mexico State because they were lowly New Mexico State. I think they were looking forward to the Iron Bowl, but that's where leadership comes in. There was no leadership on that team to say, hey, guys, we got to look at the game right now.
Right.
We'll take care of Alabama later. Let's go out and win this game, And to me, I saw a team that allowed a team, New Mexico State, come in and take your lunch money on your home turf.
Yes.
Because they got paid $1.8 million to come in there.
And beat Auburn like that.
Okay. That was just absolutely embarrassing. I'm not going to put it all on the coaches, because the coaches weren't on the field. The coaches prepared them to play, but
should have prepared them to play.
As a player, you have to have some pride in yourself and say, no, you're not going to do this. I don't care who you are. You're not coming into my home turf and take over. I didn't see that. And the quarterback is supposed to be the leader on the field. In the last 7-8 minutes, where I think they could have caught up, I didn't see a sense of urgency from the quarterback.
No, not at all.
It was lackadaisical. It was like, oh, well, if I'm the quarterback and we're trailing, I'm getting everybody up to the line of scrimmage. Let's go. Let's go get this. Okay. You got to make it happen. But I didn't see that from the quarterback. And from my understanding, that was what separated him from the other quarterbacks, was his intangibles, which usually means leadership. I didn't see that on the field.
Well, I didn't see the game, and I'm kind of glad I didn't.
I was there in living color, and Michael's right on point. There was no leadership on the field there, on the offensive or defensive side. I didn't see it. So I don't know if it was the players. Go ahead, Thom.
What gets me is, excuse me, Barbara, but I guess what gets me is you choose to play somebody and you choose not to play somebody, but you lose either way. So why can't you lose with this other guy?
Right.
Why you got to lose with this guy?
Right.
And I've never understood that. And just watching football over the years and watching coaches over the years, they decide they want to do something, and they're the coach. They're getting paid the big money, so they should do what they feel that is the best thing. And
usually
I was shocked when I saw the score.
Usually when a player doesn't have it going, Thom, they pull him and put somebody else in to get a spark. Okay.
Right.
That didn't happen on Saturday.
That didn't happen at all. No.
So I didn't see any movement to bring somebody else in just to change the dynamics of the game and get a spark going.
Well, I wonder why.
NIL.
I was going to say, probably NIL has something to do with that. We talked about that the other week, where they've invested some money in certain players, and they're probably going to get the call before other players.
Well, I don't know. I just think that if you're going to lose, put everybody you got out there and see if you can win. And you don't, to me, now this is my you don't encourage a player or get the best from a player when you tell them what they can't do.
Right.
And that's it's like Mahomes said, it was my fault.
Right.
I threw it just a little too far, and everybody in that room knew it wasn't his fault. But he didn't want to damage those players and get in those other players' heads by making them think they can't do something.
Right.
Because, and I'll just say this, I saw when at the beginning of the season when Robbie Ashford was Red Zone Robbie, and everybody was cheering for Red Zone Robbie. And after a while, it was put into his head what he couldn't do.
Right.
He couldn't do this. And if he made a mistake, you take him out. Then that generally doesn't work in the best interest of the individual player or the best interest of the team. Generally causes dissension on the team.
I agree with you totally. Wait, and I know our friend Antley is watching this morning, so we have to say congratulations to South Carolina. I think they won.
Who did they play? I didn't watch any college game. Who did South Carolina play? I've
already forgotten who they played, Thom. I'm sure Antley will tell us.
Well, congratulations, Antley. And so I'm looking to see what he said here.
Kentucky, yes, that's who it was.
Oh, they beat Kentucky.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations, Antley. Anything else from you guys?
I have one other thing since we're on Auburn. Auburn University received $2 million from the Alabama Department of Finance to help fund a rural healthcare initiative with OnMed. It looks as though that they're going to be able to install 4 telemed booths throughout rural Alabama to help with the healthcare initiative. As you all know, that the very first one was implemented back in February of 23 in Chambers County Wellness Center. And now the Alabama Department of Finance has given Auburn University an additional $2 million to implement more healthcare booths. And that's coming out of the Auburn University outreach. As a matter of fact, Dr. Holly Koss says it's very challenging to get a physician, primary care physician, to come and establish a practice in rural areas for a number of different reasons. But with the OnMed booth, they can see a clinician affordable care, and the tools that help them will come down out of the ceiling to help them diagnose and even prescribe medication. So that's really good. That's Auburn University being Auburn.
That's a great thing. Yeah,
that's great. And Michael, I know you were involved in that, and we thank you for what you've done in regards to that. And goes back to, I think you told me about it, and I told the president about it, and we put it in, we got it over into outreach, and then Holly was hired, and Holly and them seemed to be doing a fantastic job with it. So
that's great.
Sometimes things work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like to say that it's a tribute to the chemistry, Thom, you and I have, and our ability to work together and think in a strategic manner in order to make it better and make things better for Auburn. And we talked about doing something that would make an impact at Auburn, and this was it. Fortunately, because I'm in the healthcare space, I knew the former president of OnMed. I got some information. I discussed it with you, Thom, and I said, hey, don't you think this would be good? You said, yeah, it needs to go to outreach. And we worked together on that, Thom. So it was a pleasure working with you, and we were able to accomplish something that'll probably make an impact for years to come.
I agree.
Thank you both for your involvement. That's a wonderful thing.
May save some lives. Now, let me just, because I when I moved out of that space, but so now Tuskegee, I know Tuskegee had a booth. Do they have more than one?
Well, I've heard that they're supposed to be trying to get another one. Initially, that's what they were looking to do, but they do have one that's over on campus.
Currently, there's one in Chambers County and one in Tuskegee. Are they the only 2 existing ones in the state of Alabama right now?
Right now.
Why don't you take a couple of minutes and just explain what it is, Michael?
Well, basically what it is, it's a telemedicine booth where a person can go into the booth and they can see a physician. The physician may be in Tampa or somewhere else, but it's primarily to reach people that are underinsured and from the underserved market. And they can go in for a small amount of money and they can see a physician. They have an instrument that will come down and look into a person's eye, the ears, see if there are any diseases there. They can take their temperature from the hottest point of the body to determine if they have a fever, take their body weight, body mass index, and as well, if there's an issue, they can prescribe medication. It was a program that was put together with the help, and this is where Thom came in and played a vital role, getting Blue Cross Blue Shield and Alpha Insurance to come up and put funding together to fund the first booth, which is in Chambers County. And it's the rest is history, but it's all based on trying to help the underserved community.
That's great.
The other thing about this, and let me bring it up, Auburn now has a medical school, which Thom played a vital role in that. Well, these medical students and nurses, they can get hands-on training by working with the OnMed station. So they'll get a chance to see patients and what have you, and that can go towards them getting credits for their degree.
Awesome.
Good deal.
That is great.
That's great. All right. Well, what do you got? We got anything else that we want to?
Tom, the only other thing I want to mention is our condolences to the Carter family. Our former First Lady, Rosalind Carter, passed away over the weekend. Who was a great, wonderful First Lady of this country. And so our condolences to the Carter family.
Very much so. They have been wonderful. Speaking of leaders, wonderful leaders in the country. Michael, you got anything else?
Just a quick note. I know a lot of people are probably getting close to, especially baby boomers, getting close to Social Security and all that type of stuff. Just want to say, be careful, because the Social Security Administration is going after one lady for a $10,000 bill where they overpaid her. And now they want the money back because it was their mistake. And now they're saying that she will not get any more of her monthly paychecks until she can pay the $10,000 back that they made the mistake of. And her son has put up a GoFundMe page because their father passed away. And Christopher, the son, said, we had 3 incomes. My father passed away. We only have 2. And he died after the father died after testing positive for COVID-19. And the mother, thinking that she would be entitled to some of her husband's benefits and what have you. It didn't go into detail as to what happened, but in the bottom line is Social Security overpaid by $10,000. And now they are going after this family and this person to get this money back. And they're saying in fiscal year 2022 alone, the Social Security Administration attempted to reclaim $4.7 billion in overpayment.
Wow.
With 21.6 billion still outstanding. So I think Congress needs to look into this. And, they
ain't got time. They're too busy fussing.
But this is what they're sent up there to do, is fix situations like this. Okay.
Yes.
And if you have an administration like Social Security that is supposed to be there to help the citizens of the U.S., and they make a mistake, they want to blame it on the citizens and go after the citizens like they're criminals instead of fixing the problem in-house. That's what Congress should be doing.
I agree.
Well, I think, okay, you can try to get the money back or work some deal out where you are, where the government is compensated for the loss or whatever. But I don't know if you should be going after somebody criminally for a mistake that they made.
The government made. I agree.
And then I don't know if I'd get Congress involved. They're so screwed up.
They never agree on anything.
I'm sorry. I heard Barbara. What'd you say, Michael?
I say Congress has the power to fix it. That's the issue.
They do. They have the power is different from having the sense.
I was going to say, you need a combination of power and some mental aptitude to be able to take care of the problem.
Anyway. Well, let's move on because we got a great G-list guest, but let's get to Sean because she's got a minute for us. Sean, are you out there somewhere?
Good morning to everyone joining in with us. My name is Shantia Jones, and this is Got a Minute. Thanksgiving is this Thursday. Some people are celebrating Thanksgiving, some are having Friendsgiving, and for others, it just may be business as usual. Whether your family is here, far away, on the astral plane, or just doing their thing, here are a few tips to stay positive this week. 1. Think about things or people that you're thankful for. 2. Stay connected with the ones you love and the ones that love you. 3. Remember good things throughout your day. 4. Have things to look forward to, no matter how small they are. 5. Do your best not to bury yourself in negative thinking. 6. Think about your purpose in life, and if you don't have one, find one. And 7. Keep yourself busy by making plans and accomplishing tasks for the day. And remember, if you're feeling down or having difficulties that you're facing, there are ways of coping and keeping yourself focused on the positive. If you are struggling or just need support, it is okay to reach out and share what it is that you need. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute.
All right, thank you. Let's see. So Hollywood's got the A list, and here on Tuesdays with Thom, we've got the G list. Our G list guest today is Eric Jones, and it's 25 Days of Christmas. Let's bring Eric on. Eric is a composer, a lyricist, a librettist, screenwriter, and executive producer of the 25 Songs of Christmas. He was born in Medford, Massachusetts, and he lives in Texas now. But I think today he's coming to us from Arizona. So, Eric, how are you, man?
Hey there, how's it going, everybody?
All right, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, getting ready for Thanksgiving, getting ready for the holiday season. I'm really excited about it. So,
well, tell us about the 25 days this year before we get into the questions or whatever. Give us a summary of where you are doing.
Well, we're very, very excited. This year, we're actually this is going to be our 14th season. We've been a web series throughout this entire time. And this year, this year's theme is called Greatest Hits. So these are basically all of our pretty much all of our video presentations we've done since 2015. So we've been showing some of our best of the best of all of our holiday songs, some of the best performances, some of the best sketches, things that we've done over the years. Because next year we have a very, very exciting anniversary, which is going to be our 50th anniversary, which is going to be like our landmark. And we have some really, really great holiday songs that everybody knows and loves, but also we got some songs that you may not know and love. So that's one of the things that's really great about our show. Me and my sister, we're also excited that we also this year during the summer, since the time since I usually work in entertainment industry, I do a lot of since we had the strike, I was able during the early spring and summer actually wrote an ebook of a companion of our basically of the greatest songs ever written for the holiday song. So it's kind of like our 25 songs of Christmas, greatest songs ever written. So these are like the best of all the greatest songs ever written. So that's out on Amazon. It is also out on Audible. I'm very excited about it. I think that we've been getting some really good sales. People really have been reading it, and it's a good read. It's very entertaining, and you get a chance to read a little bit some of the lyrics of the songs, and you get a chance to know about the background of where these great holiday songs came from. So it's been a good. Overall, it's been a pretty good, summer and fall this year.
Good deal. So you mentioned the strike. I assume you're talking the actors' strike.
The writer's strike.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also the writer's strike too.
Yeah, the writer's strike as well. You want to talk about that a little bit? How'd that affect you?
Sure. Oh boy, a lot. Well, see, because I'm a literary manager, so most of my writers I wasn't able to present or pitch or anything else because most of the studios are all the production companies are pretty much on a standstill. So this started actually May 1st of this year, and then I think it ended I believe September was it 23rd. It was literally almost 6 months. So it looked like all throughout, like all through May to the summer. So it was a very long, hot summer. We were like wondering, okay, are we going to be able to have an industry or be able to, have shows, get greenlit? Because right now, currently, most of the shows, most of the movies that were supposed to be, coming out for the holiday season, they had to kind of push them back a little bit. But now I think now that everything's kind of back to normal, we kind of got our tentative agreement for our 3 years. It's a little bit better, but it's slowly coming back to business, like business as usual. So, but it was pretty hairy that summer. I was kind of like, what's going on here? And this is probably the second longest strike they had since 1998. I believe was the longest. It was literally like 7 or 8 months.
I'll tell you, we had one in 2007.
Yes, I remember that one too. That was a big one.
And that one, and it was coupled with a recession, and so it wiped a lot of people out.
It did. It really did. Yeah, it affected a lot of people.
Yeah. So, Barbara, you got a question for Eric?
I do. Good morning, Eric. Thank you for joining us. This is your 14th year, 25 songs of Christmas. Yeah. How do you select the songs each year? And how do you decide which order you have those songs play? So is it your favorite personal favorites? Do you ask your friends and family? Tell us a little bit about your selection process.
Okay, that's an excellent question. Usually, I always try to do it symbolically. I always do it in the summer, preferably in July. And what we do is that I kind of come up with an idea of a theme because I want to make sure that no two songs are basically going to be the same, because I don't want to do the same. Because the biggest mistake that a lot of people do when they think of holiday music, they usually play the same probably greatest hits over and over again. So you want to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes I would use certain songs. They may have a milestone. They may have like an anniversary coming up. Other times it may be a particular artist, maybe somebody who maybe has transitioned and moved on. You want to maybe honor them. And also you might want to do some songs that might be like, hey, I haven't heard this in a long time. Let's bring this up. It's kind of like a hidden gem or hidden classic. So we kind of mix those things up a little bit. So we want to make it diverse. We want to make it entertaining, but most importantly, the key is always music education, to understand the background, to respect the writers who wrote the songs, to understand like where, what was the inspiration behind those songs. So we always that always been the central theme. So since the fact this was like our 14th year, we thought, let's just do like a kind of a greatest hits, because everybody has greatest hits. We did buy records and stuff. So why can we do a greatest hits of all of our shows we've done over there? So that was a lot of fun.
That's great.
You talk about the inspiration behind the songs. Just pick a song and give us the inspiration behind that song, because you're good at that.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, here's a song that a lot of people don't realize. Since the fact this is Thanksgiving, can you believe that actually Jingle Bells is actually a Thanksgiving song? It's not a Christmas song. Yes, it's a Thanksgiving song. Matter of fact, the man who wrote it was James Lord Pierpont. He wrote it in 1867. He actually wrote the song in Medford, Massachusetts. He was actually on his way to visit his family, and he was in a tavern, and he was bored, and he was thinking, what could I do to pass time? So he wrote this poem, and it became the song that we know as Jingle Bells. Now here's a big misconception. Everybody automatically, even the song itself really has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, but it does have a lot to do with winter, and it does have a lot to do with visiting loved ones. So he wrote it actually during the Thanksgiving holiday, and it has always been associated with Thanksgiving, but it hasn't been like since the 20th century that has been associated with Christmas. So they always go with that. So that's a lot of people don't realize that song, and also
I never knew that.
Yeah, and also the other song from Lydia Wilde from the 1870s called "Over the River Through the Woods to Grandma's House We Go."
Yes,
same theme. It's also from Thanksgiving. But here's another thing that's really funny too. They're all from my hometown. I'm from Medford, Massachusetts.
Right.
Both
of those.
Who from my hometown wrote those songs?
Wow. Amazing.
Okay.
Right. I was going to ask you that, Eric. Keeping in that theme, I was going to ask you, with holidays overlapping now, and some people will start to put up Christmas decorations for Thanksgiving, and so I was going to ask you, when is the proper time to start to play your Christmas music? You know, do you wait till Thanksgiving one day after, or when is that?
Okay. That's the ultimate debate, huh? That's kind of the question of the day, the conundrum. Well, I tell you what, there, you can play it as early as mid July if you want to. There's no real true protocol, but if you want to do proper protocol, usually the best time to usually kind of play holiday music is usually the week before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the start. I see a lot of people, particularly a lot of businesses now. A lot of businesses I know, they're already decorating their house. I mean, decorating the houses or decorating the businesses like the day after Halloween. Actually, it was like, I think that might be a little bit, a little obsessive to me.
Right.
It'll probably be better around maybe a week before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving week is great. Thanksgiving week is great to start. Kind of get you in the spirit. Now, when is the best time to kind of not play holiday music? Now, here's the thing. Now, people always say that after Christmas Day, it should be over. No, actually, you should. I would say the best time to kind of transition away from Christmas music is probably, actually, I would say maybe New Year's Day or January the 6th, if you believe, because there's some cultures internationally that celebrate Three Kings Day, which is Feast of the Epiphany, which is actually the 12th night, if you're familiar with Shakespeare's 12th night. That's the holiday they celebrate. That's usually officially the last day I would say you will probably play holiday music. I mean, because pretty much the holiday season is over after that. If you go anything beyond that, it'd be like, okay, well, I always say do you, but I would say the appropriate time would probably be like maybe the week before Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving week is the best time to start playing holiday music.
Okay. Who's it, Barbara?
Right. Eric, you know all the music. So tell us, what is your favorite Christmas song of all times, and tell us why.
Oh my goodness. Well, man, it's almost like asking about what my favorite child is. Well, I mean, there's a lot. I would probably say the most inspirational, or the one that I thought was the most amazing song, I would say is "Oh Holy Night." I think it was two Frenchmen, Omar Chapeau and Henri Chalkiel, wrote this song in 1847. It was actually it was just a very beautiful hymn. They wrote it particularly for the church. But what I loved about this particular song is the cultural impact and how it actually affected. Matter of fact, this song was so powerful that it even like stopped soldiers from fighting. If you're familiar, in 1914, during the World War I, there was a true story about this. In No Man's Land, which is basically outside of Verdun, which is where a lot of the fighting was. It was a Christmas Eve. It was almost towards midnight, and a French soldier was out. He walked off the trenches and started singing this song. He was singing "Oh Holy Night." And my second favorite song also was a German soldier came out and sang "Silent Night." That was the first time, because that was an Austrian song. That was the first time that a lot of the Germanic people had actually ever heard the song, because it was mostly kind of like a German, like kind of like a local hit. It was a local hit. German. So it became more of international. So they were singing this music, and as a result, they created this Christmas truce where there was no battles. The French, the English, and the Germans basically just stopped, and they just just started playing games and started drinking. They ate wine, they ate food. They had just a really good time, and they just forgot for just one moment that they were literally like killing each other.
Right.
So that one night, that whole song literally like stopped an entire battle. It's like, we're not going to fight today. So every time I think of that song, I think of peace, I think of hope, and I would say the whole "Oh Holy Night" was just like, it goes beyond music. It transcends music.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, did they go back to fighting on January the 6th?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They did some. Yeah, they didn't stop. But just for that one moment, there was some brief. It was funny. I mean, they were playing, they're playing, soccer with each other. They had a good time. They played football and everything. So they had a ball.
So we got a question. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, no, go ahead. Do that one.
No, I just say we got a question here that says, how do you find and subscribe to the YouTube channel for this year's songs?
Oh, okay. Well, we have our we are on on the Morningstar Media channel, and we have all of our videos are done like every day, you're starting from December 1st until Christmas Day. So we do it. We always have it, pre-planned. So you always check our Morningstar Media group channel on YouTube. We also have our website at 25songsofchristmas.com. So we always have the videos there. So we kind of give you some information as well. And we're on every social media platform. We're there on everything from everything from the former Twitter, which is X, which I'm not really a big fan of, but we have it anyway. To Facebook, to to Instagram. We have our own page on 25 Songs of Christmas, and we're also excited that we also have Morningstar Media Clips, which is on TikTok, which we've been really getting a lot of. To me, that's the way of the future. All the kids are into TikTok now, so they love it. They love it, even though we're doing like little bits and pieces of it. Yeah, they can't get enough of it. I mean, I really love that. I love that social engine. So, but if you want to look at our videos this year, we're also for those that are in the Houston area, or if you're not, we're also our videos are going to be broadcast on our Houston media sources. That's our access channel. So you can check that out too, and they're going to do it every day too.
Somebody put up www.25songsofchristmas.com.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, Michael.
Okay, I was going to ask you. I have my favorite Christmas songs, but I wanted to ask you about one that's kind of new, so to speak.
Okay.
Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
All I Want for Christmas Is You. Where does that line up with your 25 songs?
In my book, it is in one of my top 25s. Wow. Yes, it is a very well written song. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing, actually, I can probably tell you guys now, we're going to do a special 30th anniversary next year, because that song was released in 1994. Walter Ashcliffe and Mariah Carey wrote that song. Cool story about how they came about it. She wanted to recreate the classic Phil Spector wall of sound. If you're familiar with Phil Spector, he's like legendary producer, early 60s, girl groups, Ronettes, Darlene Love, that type of music. And she wanted to recreate that sound, which it did have that sound. And what was cool is that when she was recording the album, she recorded it in the summer. Usually, most of your holiday songs albums are going to be recorded in the summer, so she did it like in the middle of July. And her, of course, being Mariah Carey, who she is, she's the true diva she is. The whole studio was decorated in complete Christmas regalia, everything, trees, you name it, everything was decorated. That was the only way she was ever going to be able to perform, or just give her best performance. So when she had to go back and do some more recordings of it, the decorations were gone, and she was like really upset. It's like, how dare you not have this, because we're singing the Christmas song. So they had to literally wait like a day to decorate the entire studio for her to go ahead in order for her to perform again. Yes, but one of those songs that came out of it was All I Want for Christmas Is You. So yeah, we would not have that masterpiece if it wasn't for that. So that she, she's definitely really played the part, and she really got into the spirit of the holiday season. So I think all salutes to Mariah and what she did. And believe me, this is a song that I think right now, I just recently got the stats right now. It's still to this day, it is the most musically downloaded song in human history. It has approximately, it was about maybe 9.9 million downloads a year. Matter of fact, Mariah Carey does not have to make another record as long as she lives, like ever. Never. She didn't have to make another album. All she has to do is just release that song, and she's set.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It is. It's great. Michael, Barbara?
Go ahead, Barbara.
What about chestnuts roasting on the open fire? Talk about the background of that.
Oh, love this. I love this story. Yes, that's it's called The Christmas Song. The lyrics was written by Robert Wells. The music is Mel Torme, great jazz singer in his own right. Of course, a lot of people have done that version of the song, but probably the most famous or most, I would say, most infamous connection was, of course, with Nat King Cole.
Yes.
Now, when they were writing the song, they wrote it in. Of course, once again, you got to write your holiday songs in the summertime. You got to write in the summer. It was extremely hot when they were writing the song, and I think Mel Torme told the lyricist Robert to just, hey, think cool thoughts, because it's already hot, because they were like, literally it was like a heat wave in Los Angeles. So the first lyrics that he wrote down was chestnuts were open fire, Jack Frost was about his nose. He was thinking about his home in Connecticut. He was thinking about back home. So when it was time to record it in 1946, it was Mel that was going to record it. He actually recorded it. He had a version of it himself. Excuse my voice. I'm sorry. But when he was trying it, it's like it didn't sound right. It didn't fit perfectly. So it just so happens that because it was at the Capitol Records building. That's where he was a recording artist, and Nat King Cole was also a part of that roster as well. Nat King Cole's group, the Nat King Cole Trio, happened to actually record some music right next door in one of the few studios down. So Nat was hearing it. He said, "Oh, this is pretty good." And then Mel said, "Hey, why don't you just give it a try? Why don't you give it a shot? Because it's not working for me." And just so happens, Nat took it. More famous as being a musician than a singer. He took a chance. He went up there and sang it, and it was like the song was no longer Mel Torme's anymore. It was Nat.
Right.
So you can look at everybody else. Everybody thinks, yes, it's quintessentially that is a Nat King Cole song. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how it came about. That's
That's great.
Great, man.
We'll talk about my all-time favorite, Donny Hathaway.
Yes, This Christmas, 1970. Okay, it was he wrote the music and everything, and I believe Nan McKenna wrote the lyrics. He wanted to create a song that was specifically that showed not only what the holiday season is in the Black community, because there was no songs that really like celebrated us as a people. So he wanted to, he strategically wanted to create a song about celebrating Christmas in the Black community. What is it like to celebrate Christmas with our way of celebrating Christmas? So it became a big hit for him. He was just recently signed. I think he was recently signed for Motown, and he was just an up and comer. And it was because of that song he was able to get the attention of Roberta Flack. So that Roberta Flack and Dottie, my God, they got incredible chemistry.
Yes.
So that's how she got it. That's how Roberta got his attention, her attention from that song alone. But I've always liked it. It's always fun. It's a fun song.
Absolutely.
Great. What about a White Christmas?
White Christmas. Well, we did a special 80th anniversary last year on it. Originally, Irving Berlin wrote it. I think, of course, once again, in the summertime, I said there's a theme about this. There's a theme about that summer. It's always a good time to write it. And I always tell people that want to write a Christmas song, right in the middle of summer. That's the best time to write a holiday song. So he said that he loved the song so much that he told his secretary I said, "This is the best song I've ever written." Matter of fact, I think it's the best song of my entire career. So this was 1940 when he wrote it. So he went up there, he wrote it, got the music, got the sweet lyrics, but it was never recorded until probably 1942, and it was actually it was Bing Crosby who did it first. He did it on his radio show, and then they said, "Hey, let's use this song. Let's use the song for a movie that I'm doing. It's called Holiday Inn." So it was first introduced and I remember the movie. I remember when he performed it, and it was just magic. It was actually during the height of World War II, and a lot of GIs made it. It was more than just a holiday song. It was more like an Americana song. It was almost like a nostalgia of about going home. So it made a lot of the soldiers kind of like homesick, but it also made them think that there's hope that maybe hopefully after this war is over, I can come back home for Christmas. So White Christmas is one of the few holiday songs that won an Academy Award for Best Song. There are actually two others. One was "Baby It's Cold Outside," "Baby It's Cold Outside," 1949, and also "Silver Bells" in 1951 from the Lemon Drop Kid. Those are the only three. There have been other songs that have been nominated for Academy Awards that were Christmas theme songs, but they never won. They're the only three that won. I think the three. So only been three.
Right.
Eric, before we go, is there anything else you want to discuss? Anything you want to talk about that's maybe new or different?
Well, let me think. I am really looking forward to. I don't know if anybody had a chance to see the sneak preview for the Color Purple, the movie musical that's coming out. That's John Chu.
I've seen the preview.
Yes, I've seen the preview.
Yes. Keep your eye on Danielle Brooks.
Okay.
Danielle Brooks is going to win the Oscar next year.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm predicting it. I already said it.
She's good.
Will win the Oscar.
She's great.
Yeah,
she's in the Color Purple. She's in the new Color Purple.
Over River done. I think there's going to be some redemption. After the first time when the first Color Purple was released in '85, 11 nominations, did not win a single one.
Wow.
But I promise you, if you see this film, it's going to blow your mind. It is like, I remember I saw the Broadway musical version of The Color Purple back in 2006, and I knew it was special when I saw it. I said, "Oh man, this is going to be amazing." So, and I was hoping that someday they'll make a film version of it. But when they do, they're like,
"We'll look forward to it."
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So keep your eyes out for The Color Purple, the movie musical.
Yeah, I will. I saw the previews. Anything else, Eric?
Well, no, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving coming up. And don't forget to, if you guys want to get our books once again, we have the 25 songs of Christmas, greatest songs ever written. Really want to be entertained, and all the things you want to know more about the songs. I got other great songs coming out. That's on Audible now. I also have, believe it or not, I have a party planning book too called Unwrapping the Christmas Magic. So I learned from my mom. My mom was one of the greatest party planners in the world. So I got some recipes in there. Got some fun tips, and I hope you guys get these books because they're going to be great for your they'll be great gifts for your friends and family. So please come out and buy them. I believe that Sean got the links, so hopefully you'll be able to get them. So that'd be great.
Thank you, Eric. I want to go to this world we're in now. Eric and I have never met in person. We were in a Zoom class at UCLA. What, 3 years ago now?
It sure was. Yep, 3 years
ago. We've stayed in touch, and we do this every year, and so on and so forth. But that's how this electronic world works these days,
Absolutely.
And when I saw Joe Tolles at the event Saturday. Joe's been on the show a couple of times, and it's like, oh, he's taller than I thought he was. Because you never see him in person,
Right.
Yeah.
But Eric, I just want to thank you, man. We appreciate it. You're wonderful, and I hope everything goes well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Okay, all right. Let me make my closing comments, or as I see it. First of all, I want to say thank you again to everybody who attended the event this weekend at the President's House at Auburn. I want to thank the President and Tracy for just the outstanding event, and then all the people who came. It was just absolutely wonderful, and it was great that Auburn paid tribute to these people who have meant so much to the university and probably was overlooked at some point in their career. So I'd like to wish all a happy Thanksgiving. If you are traveling, be safe. There are a lot of people on the highways and in the airports. And if you're staying home, try not to eat too much. But if you do, make sure that you enjoy it. I want to give a particular Thanksgiving shout out to all our supporters. Those who watch, listen, serve as guests, and choose to spend their Tuesday mornings with us, regardless of where they are in the country or even in the world. We thank you. We appreciate you. We celebrate with you. And so have a happy, happy Thanksgiving. And that's how I see it on this 21st day in November in the year 2023. That's our show for today. I want to thank the audience. Thank our G-List guest, Eric Jones. He's absolutely wonderful. Thanks again to the TWT team, Barbara, Sean, Emily, and Michael and Joyce. And that's it for this November the 21st. Remember, a day without a smile is a day wasted. If you got an extra one, give one to someone else today. Enjoy yourself. Make every day count. Stay safe. Peace.